Hi everybody, Mrs. Folmar here. Just want to get you prepared for what your day is going to look like when you arrive to school in August. Under the yellow or green phase for COVID-19 planning, because I know you're going to have some questions. So first let's understand what your schedule will be like for the week. In the green phase, we'll be totally face-to-face. In the yellow phase, we'll be starting the year off with Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in our face-to-face school setting. Buses will run as normal, and then Tuesday and Thursday, you will work on your online classes. There will be no buses on Tuesday and Thursday. Our students going to the Mon Valley Career and Technical Center, you will attend the CTC Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 10th grade students will load the bus in the morning, and then you'll return for lunch. 11th and 12th grade students, you'll load the bus in the afternoon, and then you'll return for dismissal. On Tuesday and Thursday, none of our CTC students will attend CTC. So that means when you're off at California, you're also off at the VOTEC. When you're on at California, we expect you to show up for your classes. Okay, some questions you might have. Mrs. Folmar, what's it going to be like when I get to school? Well, when you arrive to school on the bus, you'll be expected to exit the bus wearing a mask or face covering. You must wear a mask or face covering when you enter the building. Once inside, your teachers and I will be at the front lobby taking precautionary measures of symptom screenings and temperature checks with a handheld thermometer or a thermal camera. If a student arrives to school with a temperature of 100 or more, I'll walk you to the nurse's office. We'll take another temperature check. And at that time, we'll call your parents just to let them know that maybe you're sick and that you need to go home. If you ride the bus to school, you'll arrive as normal in the front lobby of the school. After temperature checks, students will report immediately to your first period class. And you'll wait and remain in that first period for attendance and then the start of class. Due to physical distancing, and you've also heard of it as social distancing, no one is permitted to walk the hallways or congregate or group up in the mornings like we used to. And our morning CTC students will report to the art room, and we'll walk over and I'll show you that. Morning CTC students will report to the art room once you're inside the building. You'll remain in the art room until the VOTEC bus is in the parking lot ready to take you. If you don't ride the bus and you're dropped off in the morning, the drop-off area or the girls' locker room side, this is door number 9, or the boys' locker room side, that's door number 3. So when you enter, you're going to have your mask on upon entering. Teachers will be at both drop-off areas, and again, we'll be taking the same precautionary measures of using the handheld thermometer and a symptom screening for each student that gets dropped off either here on the girls' side, remember that's door number 9, or the boys' locker room side, that's door number 3. At that point, you can go for breakfast. It will be available. We have pre-packaged breakfasts, and you can go through the line, pick up your bag, have your breakfast at the table, and then immediately report to your first period class. Okay, Mrs. Folmar, now what about the classroom? Let's go there next. Well, if you noticed, I have my mask on now, and that's because when traveling in the hallways, you'll have to wear your mask and then entering the classroom until you get to your seat. When you're in your seat at your classroom, then you can remove your mask. Some classes will be split between 2 rooms, and some classes will be held in the auditorium or library. This is to accommodate physical distancing. Masks and facial coverings will be removed in the classroom because students will be physically distanced at their desk. And in some cases, again, we might be using 2 classrooms to keep the distance even further. Some classes you'll see will have a plexiglass barrier between desks or on the desks. This is the same type of plastic barrier that you see in stores and restaurants. So things are going to be a little different in your learning environment, but understand that these are precautionary measures for your safety and the safety of your friends and family. So, Mrs. Folmar, what will we do in our gym class? Well, physical education classes will be held outside when the weather permits. If it's raining, students will go in the auditorium to physically distance, or we'll try to keep people separated in the gym. To avoid congregating in the locker rooms, students will not change clothes for phys ed. If you are scheduled for phys ed during the first semester, and many of you will be, plan to wear school clothes that you can wear for phys ed and then go straight to class from there. I encourage you to bring in water bottles or containers with water because the water fountains are shut down. Not only will you need drinks for gym class, you'll want drinks throughout the day to keep in your locker to stay hydrated. You do not need to wear your mask while you are involved in physical activity during phys ed. Okay, so here we are. I did mention about masks and face coverings, and yes, they are to be worn as you enter the building. But what about while in the classroom? We answered that. And how about in the cafeteria? So the face coverings are required in the hallways, at your locker, using the restroom, walking to the cafeteria. Once you're in the classroom, you'll already be physically distanced. Once you're at your desk, you'll be 6 feet apart. So you may remove your mask at your seat, but only at your seat. And again, some classrooms will have that plastic barrier where you can remove your mask once you're on your own side of the plexiglass barrier. But let's talk about face masks during lunch. So lunch will be located in 3 areas: the cafeteria, the auditorium and stage, and then the art room. So you'll be assigned to eat lunch in one of those 3 locations. You'll go through the line, salad bar not available, pick up your lunch, go to your assigned location. Again, there's limits as to how many can sit in the cafeteria, how many can sit in the auditorium, and then we have alternative seating, like I said, in the art room. Of course, remove your mask while eating and drinking. Okay, let's take a look at lockers. That's where we're headed to next. Hey, Mrs. Folmar, do we get a locker? Yes, every student will have a locker, and as you can see, they're tagged so that we have some social distancing. But to create more social distancing, at the end of certain periods, I will be calling out each grade to be announced as to when they can go to their locker. So you'll go to your locker, you'll return to class, and then we will have a class exchange. So remember, traveling through the hallways, wear your mask. We'll be traveling one way, and in just a minute I'll show you what I mean by that with a double line. Following the arrows on the floor, and everyone walking in the same direction. Again, practicing those social distancing skills. Here's the feet that you'll follow, and here's the double line. So what you'll do is, just like driving, stay in your lane. Going down the hallway this way, or staying in your lane going down the hallway that way. That way everyone's facing in the same direction and keeping distant. Is it going to be confusing? Yes, probably at first, but eventually it will become a natural, normal routine. Are we going to help? You bet, absolutely. Just ask.